I am the manager for Farley Boatworks. I am a proud boat builder, wooden boat builder, and wooden boat enthusiast, I can say. Really here to kind of celebrate what we're doing today in collaboration with the Texas Maritime Museum. I, for one, am very grateful for this collaboration because for people like myself who want to learn about this kind of history, there are not many places where you can do that, right? So the collaboration between organizations like us and the Texas Maritime Museum, they're very important. They put the information out there. They allow you to learn about it and experience some of the things kind of hands-on too. So kind of wanted to just give you the history of the Farley Boatworks and why they're important. Why should their history be preserved? Why do we have a museum for them, and why is there these efforts being made? So they established themselves the first Farley Boatworks, which was the Fred Farley and Son Boats Company in 1915. That was when Tarpon, Texas just changed up from Tarpon, Texas and became Port Aransas. And for a long time, for about 20 years, when it was named Tarpon, Texas, there was this huge community there who really kind of stemmed from the Texas, the Tarpon Fishing Club. They started up this whole new deal where you can catch this big fish that's, on the scale of all the fighting fish. You have the marlin that's all the way up there, and then next to that you have the tarpon. And they're big fighting fish. So they saw the opportunity that they were only using these small little flat bottom rowing boats, which are nothing but a 14 or 16, maybe a little bit larger than that. With a little bit of a flat bottom and no motor at all. So just imagine on days like today, when you go outside and it's 90 degrees plus, and you have to go and row out to the Gulf to go get your tarpon. That was a very hard job. And so the Farleys kind of seen that opportunity to come here to the island and serve that community, the tarpon fishing community. So they did start off building those flat bottom rowing boats, and then eventually, as time goes by, they put the first inboard in them. So they put an inboard with a drive shaft and a propeller, and turned the first rowboats into the first power boats. One of the first power boats around here. Then from there, now you can get a lot farther and not be so tired when you get there, and catch your fish and come back in. So that's really one of the one of the most important things that they did, why they started and who they served. But then in the rest of their time, they had some important visitors. One of them was from FDR, our former president, who in about 1930 came on a 2-day fishing trip with the Farleys on a Farley boat, and he actually got to go out with Barney Farley, who was the brother of the founder, who was a aspiring tarpon guy, is what he described himself as. He always knew that he wanted to be a tarpon fishing guy. So he took the opportunity. He had a brother, a very special brother, Fred, who was a talented builder. And he said to his brother that he needs to come to this island and start building boats, because this is what this town needed. And so about 5 years later, that's what Fred does. He opens up the Fred Farley and Son Boats, and later on when FDR comes to take that trip, he had Barney as his tour guide. So it's kind of full circle for them. And I can kind of relate to that, kind of feels the same way to me, kind of full circle, later on, they shut down in 1973. So they had a astounding 58 years of boat building. They built about 150 boats in that time. If you come to Farley Boatworks, you'll see 2 of their original Farley boats that they built. One is called the Starfish, one is the Tina. And you also see the original building of where they worked out of. Today, what we are today is a working museum. So we have the museum aspect where you can see all the cool Farley stuff. But we still are a operating boat shop today. So what I offer to you today is anybody who wants to learn how to build their own wooden boat, but you don't really know how to start, or you've already done it and you just need some extra hands because you built one. Now you know it takes a little bit more hands or material or anything like that. You can come to me with any sort of plan that you want, and we'll discuss how to build your dream boat. That's designed for specifically to what you want to do. Just like the Farleys. The Farleys built tarpon skiffs for the tarpon fishing community. They built a couple of other boats, but they built boats custom for you and for what you want to do on your boat. So that's kind of what I can offer.
So it wasn't the same boat each time? There were differences?
There were a couple of different boats that they built. They built mostly tarpon skiffs. They were there to serve that tarpon fishing community. But they also built, I believe it was like a 60-foot yacht for Sid Richardson, like a oilman. They built, they built a couple of, I may mispronounce it, but a Sursa. It's a speedboat, and they built a couple of those. One of them was for Gail Borden Munsil, or the Borden Milk Company. The head guy there, they built him a speedboat for him. And so yeah, they built a couple different types. Mostly they built tarpon skiffs in the range of 16 to 23 feet. They did go a little bit over that later on. I have a boat that was built by them in about 68. It's 30 feet long, and so it's 7 feet longer than usual. Different uses, different purposes, and really each one is just custom to what you need.
What size motor did they have at first?
Really good question. I do not have the answer for that. I know that they were diesel. The information that I can give you on that is, and somebody who may have the information to that, please shout out the answer. What I do know about the motors is that they were diesel. Okay, they were mostly inboard. They did not really build any outboard boats until like 60s and 70s, right? These engines themselves, they were pretty much in 55, I would say, is when marine grade engines came about, right? Because you just had World War II, these motors were being built for the war. Now you have an excess amount of motors. Now these are being sold to just regular people, right? And so, but before that, they were just any motor that you can get, including your car motors, including airplane motors, which that speedboat that I told you about, they put an airplane motor in there to make it go 50 miles per hour in 1928. Yeah. So,
Hispano Suiza.
Say again?
Hispano Suiza.
I'm sorry.
Hispano Suiza V8.
I'm really not sure. I'm really not sure what they were using. All I would know is that there was some type of a diesel engine.
What about the Farley Boat Museum in Port Aransas? Is that going to be built anytime soon?
Really good question. So we are building a new maritime museum, which is neighboring. They're right 5 feet away from Farley Boat Works, and there's progress being made. They've decided to extend the wall out to allow for a lot more space.